Hi Paula, how are you?
Hi, Professor Slater.
Oh, God, so good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while.
I'm glad you could join me for lunch.
Great. Yeah, you're working on a textbook, I heard.
Yeah, so, something to do besides my undergraduate classes, so.
Oh, very good. Well, I want to get a signed copy of it when you're done.
You betcha.
Great.
Well, I brought you here today because I'd like to interview you for our university press.
Oh, great. It looks like you've got a copy of my theory there.
Yes, I've read all about it, and I'd like to know a little bit more about it. I'm usually not interested in physics theory, but something caught my attention.
Oh, what was that?
That a theory could explain what caused the Big Bang, and in so doing, could converge science and theology. That could represent a potentially huge new paradigm shift. I'm curious, though, what was the underlying basis for your theory?
I became fascinated with the ultimate scientific theologian question: what caused the Big Bang? I figured if that most difficult of questions could be answered, then the design of the universe would present itself.
Well, I'm not as familiar with the subject as you are, but what proof is there of a Big Bang?
In 1929, Edwin Hubble discovered the redshift, an astronomical observation indicating galaxies are moving away proportional to their distance, meaning from a point of origin. A Big Bang, or as some refer to it, a big expansion. But scientists were skeptical about that conclusion because the four constant forces of mass could not have caused it, which of course inferred that some outside force did.
Well, by outside force, what do you mean?
Well, it infers that a god caused the Big Bang, or some force not yet discovered.
Go on, this is interesting.
Yeah, a few leading physicists at that time, 1929, said if a Big Bang had occurred, then there would be evidence of a heat signature in space. And if fast forward to 1965, two radio astronomers discovered that heat signature using radio telescopes. However, years later, with the advent of the Hubble telescope, observations supported the Big Bang theory, and it was finally accepted by most scientists that there was a Big Bang.
Was there an inspirational moment before you proceeded with this theory of yours?
Yes. In 1989, I watched a PBS special called The Origin of the Universe, which went back as far as possible to the Big Bang. What fascinated me most was the fact that science explained away the Big Bang simply by saying it was a spark from which the universe sprang forth. That seemed to be a very weak explanation for the greatest event in the history of the universe. So I thought if the four constant forces governing mass couldn't cause a Big Bang, then there must be more to the universe.
Well, it seems like a logical progression of things.
The one thing that remains a mystery, yet has been talked about for thousands of years, is the idea that people have of spirit, also referred to as consciousness. Besides all the stories we've heard of various associations with this realm of ideas, like the mother that somehow knows her kid's in danger even though he's miles away, or a precognitive dream about something that comes true later, or an intuition about some impending event that enables the person to evade its outcome. The one thing that intrigued me the most of all this, though, are recollections of people that had brain surgery, in which case their brain was frozen temporarily to do the surgery, yet they remembered conversations from the surgeons during surgery, at least in some instances. And this infers a second form of consciousness besides the brain, because how else could it have been remembered? Now, if these memories, if it could be proven true, then the question is, how much of this consciousness exists in the universe? Is it a trivial amount, in which case it would be difficult to explain what caused the Big Bang? So it would have been important enough to influence the evolution of the universe, there would need to be a lot. That's when I had the inspirational moment that preceded the work on this theory, the hypothesis that the universe is composed of equal amounts of mass and consciousness. It's the interplay between these two substances that facilitates the evolution of the universe.
Between two substances, would that mean more than the four currently recognized constant forces?
Yes, it would. It would mean there are four pairs of constant forces. In And of course, that would mean a lot of research and time to develop definitions for those paired forces and to solve for their interactions. 17 years to be exact, from 1989 through 2006 to complete the whole theory.
Wow, that was quite an endeavor. Was this theory influenced by any particular religious or scientific position?
It didn't arise from any particular scientific or theologian preconception, but rather developed under the guise of one particular influence, one basic philosophic premise. Einstein, who worked on a theory of all, said of himself, "I didn't figure it out, but someday when you do hear the correct theory explaining how the universe works, it will be simple, because out of simplicity arises complexity." And as you'll see from this theory, that clearly fits the premise in fundamental ways. Let's toast to that, huh?
Let's toast to that.